Super excited to speak with Zhan, the amazing founder of Fridays for Future Digital. Brilliant to meet you, Iris.
Yes. Awesome. I'm really excited to be here.
So I have fallen completely in love with what you're doing, but can you please tell everyone what is Fridays for Future?
Alrighty. Yeah. So Fridays for Future is the international youth-led movement started that Greta Thunberg inspired when she started, school striking for climate. And basically the basis is, local groups of students, mostly around the world, will take action every Friday to demand climate justice and climate action on local and national and international levels. And so what I've done is I created this part of the International Fridays for Future movement called Fridays for Future Digital. And so basically what we do is we take those Friday actions to a digital level to increase the impact that local groups can have on certain issues in their community, and also to increase accessibility in the climate movement, just because physically striking is not accessible to lots of people, and especially also during the pandemic as well. But the thing is, this is not just a pandemic thing. This did not start when the pandemic started, and it's not ending when the pandemic is ending. It's been around since April of 2019, and we're going to keep going and very focused on making impact with digital actions.
It's so great. I mean, 4 million people took to the streets, but then another 3 million digitally. But
yeah,
as I hear you speak and some of the things I'm seeing you post, I mean, this could be 1 billion people on the planet, right? Taking a digital action.
Yeah. We're trying to really increase our impact in multiple different ways, just with the way that we've dramatically grown since the beginning of the pandemic and into this year as well. And we really hope it can play a big role in the movement.
And so take me back, Iris, because you're an absolute powerhouse and a change maker. How did this all start for you? How did you become so, I mean, I'm sure you've always been so passionate, but how did you become such an activist for the climate?
Yeah, so it started when I was in 3rd grade and I learned about climate change, and I immediately saw how serious it was, and I was like, this is crazy. What is wrong? I took it pretty seriously. I was like very shook by it. And I cared about it, but I didn't, do as much about it. But then in 6th grade, I had this science teacher who taught us a lot about plastics and other environmental issues. And that really woke me up again and realized that what I was doing for the planet wasn't enough. And so then fast forward to like 8th grade, my passion for the environment kept growing with my science teacher and all that great stuff. And then I started to go to like local events to learn more about how I can make a difference. And I met some local groups. And then through that, I went to the Youth Climate March, and that really pushed me into doing lots of local work, and then into the youth-led stuff that's local, national, and international. And from there, I've just done a lot. That's yeah.
And look, I believe that the real change is going to be led by youth. And by the way, I'm over 25. Believe it or not, Iris, I'm over. But I signed up to be one of your over 25 people.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Mentor people, because I really,
awesome.
I believe in fully what you're doing. One of your lines is you have a voice, and you make it easy for people to be activists. Do you think that's key in making it very simple for people to participate?
Yeah, that's definitely a great thing that FF Digital has been able to do, because a lot of people think that it's hard to be an activist, not only because, people can't physically strike or all these accessibility things, but people feel like, because on one hand, being an activist does require a lot of time and energy and a lot of work and all that great stuff, but that shouldn't prevent, ordinary people from taking action. That everyone can, take action. And we want to make that as easy as possible, because this movement needs everyone, because climate justice affects everyone.
And we've only got 7 or 8 years.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
do you
That
know?
reminds me of when I used to write speeches and say, yeah, we have 11 years. We had 12 years, 11 years, 10 years. And now we're like, oh my God, it's
We,
scary.
we have, and do you know, when I hear youth saying it's scary,
Mm-hmm.
it's enough time for talk. You know, I see on LinkedIn and things
Mm-hmm.
sometimes where corporations are saying we're making a commitment to be carbon neutral by 2030.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll all be dead by 20.
Exactly. Like we got to
2030.
accelerate this by 500 plus more times, honestly.
But I remain hopeful because I see people like you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's
You
keeping me hopeful is that people are doing stuff.
fully, and when people unite, our whole thing at WeAre8 is you can change the world in 2 minutes a day,
Yeah.
and by watching brand messages, and that money goes through to people and climate. But as we grow our community, we want to promote people like you
Mm-hmm.
because then it's all about scale. Tiny actions from a
Yeah.
billion people can hold corporations accountable.
Yeah.
Do you think corporations have a bigger role to play?
They definitely do, just because of the fact that like 70% of global carbon emissions come from just like 100 companies, and even outside of those 100 companies, all corporations and businesses make impact on the environment and are very much responsible for a lot of the climate crisis. And yeah, and they're just like really important because not only are they one of the sources of everything, but also it impacts like our culture and our lifestyles. Yeah.
Do you know, speaking to Redeemer Padney, I don't know if you know her. She's a climate
I
activist
do.
in India,
She's great.
and she's gorgeous. And I just, when I hear you talk and when I hear her talk, and there's another amazing woman out of the UK, young woman who started Kids Against Plastic charity, Amy Meek, who you have to meet if you haven't. I hear you talk, and I just feel that you should represent you all eight. We should have 8, 10 people representing the people at scale as we hold companies
Yeah.
accountable and as we
Yeah.
change, because I sort of I feel it's about unity now, right?
Definitely. Yes, it is. It really is.
And
Yeah.
and so how have you found it in your local community? Did you start actively bringing people together in your local community? Is that how it first blossomed?
Definitely. I think yeah, definitely started there. I talked to people about it a lot. A good amount that people, started to know me for talking about climate stuff. I'd, talk about on Instagram all the time, and that's kind of how people knew me, and that's how I guess gained connections, is just the online advocacy that I've done, and just trying to have conversations with people and raise awareness, and that's like where I started. And then also connecting with like different activists in my local community, different organizations, trying to inspire people to care and be involved in my school, and I started out with doing a lot of local changes here and there, and trying to learn about how all of these local things work, and that's how I was able to branch out bigger.
I saw your post about the 6 farmers in Philippines and the strike, and because people get in some countries it's
Yeah,
really difficult for people to have voices, right?
it is. Yeah, it is. And
Can
that's
you tell us a little bit about that, and how you came to support that?
yeah. So that was part of our Defend the Defenders campaign, which was all about raising awareness and taking action to protect environmental defenders,
Yeah.
who are most often Indigenous people, who protect most who they're only like 5% of the world, but they protect 80% of our biodiversity, and are very important for protecting our natural resources, and for stopping more environmentally destructive projects. And so because of that, what we did, we had these digital actions to get people to be able to take action to raise awareness and support these communities that are being affected, so that more people will understand what is going on and to build pressure and create a shift.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. There's one post of you and you're holding a sign saying, they try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
Yeah.
Which I love. Can you tell me what inspired that and who you're talking to? When you write that sign, who are you talking to?
Yeah, so that slogan is actually from a very well known general movement song. That it's like, we're gonna rise up till it's one. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. And it's kind of something that we use to hype ourselves up when we're about to, go out and take some action in some sort of way. And yeah, like I think that this definitely, applies to what we were just talking about, how, governments and companies and some people, will try to stop us because they think that, what we're saying doesn't matter, or that we're dangerous or whatever, in many different ways. But because we know that this is really important and this matters to us and we want justice, we keep coming back no matter what. That's really important.
Do you know, I love it, and I feel hopeful. I feel that the tide is turning, and our goal, the voices, the powerful change makers of youth like you, are changing the world, and we all need, everyone needs to listen, and I feel hopeful. Do you feel hopeful?
Yeah, because my community of FF Digital people, we're not just a bunch of people who are fighting for climate justice, but we're also friends and family. And because of that community like bond, we have hope, because we are there for each other and support each other. And we know that we're all together passionately fighting for climate justice. And yeah.
And there's something really beautiful about, as you say, doing that together with other people, and because you've taken it digital and they're very clear actions, everyone can participate very simply, right?
Yeah, everyone can, because we have toolkits that have all the links and all the information and facts that you need to know. Yeah.
So what's in your biggest dreams? I mean, Iris, the next the next couple of years are going to be pretty amazing for you. I
hope so.
That. In your biggest dreams, what would you love to see happen?
In regards to like climate justice and
actually, in regards to climate justice, yeah, and then as I look at your gorgeous face, I just imagine, millions more people listening and taking action, behind you, because at the end of the day, we need leaders that are going to tell everyone what to do very simply to make change.
Yeah.
Because I think it's every, 99, who knows what percentage, but a high percentage of people desperately care about the planet. A lot of people don't know what to do.
Exactly.
And so, how big can this be? Because I look at what you've built and think, this beautiful organization has the power to keep uniting people with simple actions every day. I'm interested to know how you imagine it, how you imagine it growing and how big you think this can be.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I always think about this. There's a lot of really big ways that FF Digital can grow. I think that the biggest ways that we can grow is to continue to make more impact with the digital campaigns that we're doing, and just be able to help even more communities across the world than we already are, and to maximize our impact to the fullest potential possible. Just because I think there's so much we could do in the future. An ideal dream would, have like so many victories through our campaigns and so many people taking action, like hundreds of thousands more than are already, and just people feeling like they are part of the movement and that they're not cynical and that they can see things happen.
How many people would you have participate in an average event?
Like on like a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis.
Yeah. So let's see. It kind of fluctuates and changes each week depending on the campaign or whatever's going on with our team. But I'd say a couple thousand people, just because we have a pretty substantive impact in the online world, I think. Yeah, but we definitely like to see that change.
With 1,000 or 2,000 people, that's a huge, I think back, it's digital is amazing, because starting with that, what do they say? A small group of committed citizens can change the world, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's true.
And that's all it takes. And I think it's 1,000 people can hold companies accountable. 1,000 people can turn into 10,000, 100,000, a million. No, it's beautiful. And have you seen that at schools and other local community really get behind what you're doing?
I think across the international community, I think there's definitely been some places where we have made that kind of impact, and we are hoping to continue making that impact. Just because of how things are digitally, that makes it somewhat easy to reach across people, but also because things are digitally, less like in-person interactions. So yeah.
Iris, you're fabulous. Thank you so much for taking the time.